Hello guys and welcome to another ProfileTree video. So in today's video we're going to be taking a look at Android Studio. So without further ado, we're going to go ahead and get started. So let's get an in-depth overview on what Android Studio is all about. So Android Studio is an integrated development environment, which is an IDE tool. Now specifically, it is designed for Android app development. It is an official IDE for Android and it has been developed by Google. It is widely used by developers to create, test, and deploy Android applications. Android Studio provides a range of powerful tools and features that streamline the development process, and it makes it easier to build high-quality Android apps. There are a list of key features for Android Studio. Number one is the code editing. So Android Studio offers a sophisticated code editor with intelligent code completion, code analysis, and real-time error checking, which helps developers write clean and efficient code. You can see it from the actual screen here. That's more or less how the development tool looks. You've got a layout inspector as well, and on your left side would be the code, but we'll take a look at it later on in the video on the actual developer. You've also got Layout Editor, and the Layout Editor allows developers to design Android apps layouts visually, making it easier to create responsive user interfaces that work well across various screen sizes and orientations. You also have an emulator and device testing. So Android Studio includes a built-in emulator that allows developers to test their apps on various virtual Android devices. It also supports testing on physical Android devices through USB connections. It also has an AVD manager, so AVD stands for Android Virtual Device Manager, and that enables developers to create and manage virtual Android devices with different configurations to test app behavior on various device types. You've also got a Gradle build system, so Android Studio uses the Gradle build system, which simplifies the process of building and packaging Android apps, and it handles dependencies, signing certificates, and app distribution. So quite a list there in terms of features. Now there is more to it. They do support Kotlin as well, so that's a programming language, and with Kotlin, obviously, that encourages developers to try to use that language and to write Android apps, which makes it concise and expressive with that sort of language. But anyway, enough talk on the features. We'll take a look at the actual site itself, what it has to offer. So this is the Android Studio editor. We get an insight overview on what Android Studio is all about. So we more or less talked about it there. How to manage your project, how to write your code. So this is pretty much a documentation for everything that you need to know about development on Android Studio. There's design and plan as well. So parts for design for Android, mobile, large screens, Wear OS. So that's all the UI design. So that's the clientele sort of side. And of course, we've got our Android Gradle plugin. So Android uses the Gradle build system, and that, of course, simplifies the process for building and packaging for Android apps. So that's what we talked about earlier on. So they do have Java versions in Android builds, configure the app model, so a couple of other areas there. They do have SDK tools as well. So all the command line tools. And of course, this is the preview. So more or less what you could do. So here's one of the builds here. So this is a Canary build. Just an in-depth look over as to what Android has to offer, or Android Studio, sorry. And of course, it has its recent updates. So there's a couple of areas there. But anyway, getting onto the download, fairly easy. All you need to do is just click on download Android Studio. You can see the release notes as well. If you want to have a look at the release notes, it's all there. But anyway, once you have it downloaded, we can see the different themes that they have there, different themes that they have going on. So they've got an intelligent code editor, compose design tools, flexible system. But anyway, we'll go ahead and open up the Android Studio application developer. So here's an overview on the potential that you can do with Android Studio. So this is an application that I built. I created like a Volkswagen finance app. So took a few hours, and it's an easy program to use, and I was happy enough to use it as well. So everything's written in Java. I've got all my different pages here coming from the finance, my main screen, which is this, the activity being the actual area of when you come into the screen. So you'll see it when I show you the application anyway, but splash screen, that's mainly showing like another screen, like a loading screen. That's what a splash screen is all about. I've created one for finance as well, and this is more or less the used car screen. So again, there are multiple ways of making the code simpler or to simplify the code. So I've just used strings and list views. That was the best way I thought it would have been for creating this particular application. But this is just a showcase. So it just goes to show what you can create on it. Anyway, I'll show you guys the top screen here. So I've just shortened my banner there just so you guys can see the different screens. So above here, there's actually a play button. You can't see it on my screen clearly, but you're able to actually check the app. So there it is there. And here's the different screen devices that I have it on. Currently, I have it on the Pixel 3a, but you can change it for tablet or any other sized mobile phone device. But that's just a little tester anyway. So I've got my other areas here. So on our left side, so if we just have a look at this closely, these are where I've put the images. So it'll be like a PNG. That's what you can use. Then of course you can add your own fonts in. So everything here, you can just add onto it. These files will already be there. Now I've got the layout as well, so that's more or less how the layout looks. There's a little bit of how it will look on design. So you could see the design, you could see split code. So that's the initial design. This is where you can adjust areas here. So you do need to do the XML part. This is the design area. So again, a little bit messy, but it was just done very, very quickly. And I can have a split view on my actual code and how I created the design. So I, again, used text view. That's what you should use for Android Studio. So you can see I've got the other parts there for each section. So basically for this area, this is the design I want that to be. So that's the car finance calculator. And I'll show you the other parts here. So we've got the My Volkswagen, so that's the XML. So that's basically an area for information. That's in the information screen. And then we've got the new cars as well. So that's how it has been designed. So there's the design. So that's the list view. So that's more or less how that works for the list. And then we did a row. So that's how I've created the row. So that'll be for each car. And then if I go ahead and show you the code for that, it's more or less the code for it. But yes, enough talk on it. What I'll do here is I'll jump into the actual phone and then demonstrate the potential that you could do for the actual application. So I'm just going to go ahead and open up the actual phone, let that run. Now with this, you can see that we've got our phone there. So we'll just hit restart. So it is an actual phone, it's working and all. So I'll just get that reset. So I'll be right back. So in order to actually get the app running, we will run the AVD manager. So that's the Android Virtual Device Manager. And currently we have the pixel. We'll delete this just so I could showcase on how to actually do that. Now click on create virtual, and I'm going to go ahead and select the Google Pixel 4 and then click next. So that's a 5.7 screen. We'll go ahead and click next, and we're happy enough with that API, and that'll just run. Okay, so we'll go ahead and close this off, and then we'll hit play, and now the phone should appear with the actual screen. So you've got a screen on your actual desktop device. So here we are. This is our screen. I'm gonna go ahead and switch it on. So it is just like a little phone, as you can see. We'll just take its time to load up. So it's now booting up, and we will wait for it to fully load. And this is where you could basically just test whether your app's functional. It's got the resolution that you need. At the end of the day, it is application developer. So there's a lot of potential that you can create from it. So we've actually got the Android device all set up. So all we need to do is pull up our development that we have. So I'll just scroll the screen up, and you can see, hopefully, once it does all its updates, it will usually do this. We'll exit off that. Now we should be able to find our actual Volkswagen app. So we'll go ahead and find it now. So this should run it. So you can see here on our message there that it is now launching our screen. So this is the splash screen. So this is the splash screen, as you can see. Okay. And then let's see if I could just open it up again. So we're currently on the actual splash screen. So this is the code for it. This is the code for the splash screen. And what I want to do is go ahead and log in. So I'll pull up the code for that. Let's see if we can find it here. So I'm gonna enter RV. So RV, and then below is ProfileTree. Go ahead and then hit enter. And log in. So there we have it. It's pretty much just loading up now. See if we can get this. Okay. So there's the finance calculator. And we've got our different models there from what you can see. And then if we go back, this was our actual main screen. See if it can go back. Okay, so it's that's our actual screen. Now we can check our models on our different areas, and if we click on it, we'll be able to get more information on based on that actual area there. So if we wanted to finance the Ardeon, we can go ahead and do that. And these are all connected, all using Java. So that's just a quick little demonstration as to what the app can do. You can see that the scroller does work. So that's all the different models of cars. Now it's not, of course, just, you don't necessarily just need to create an app based on a financing tool. You can create like a game if you wanted to, or if you wanted to create, say, another app that's useful, then you can go ahead and do so, like a link to a website or a e-commerce sort of site. You can go ahead and do a web development. So it's not limited to what you can actually create. So this is just an example of one of the things that you can actually achieve on Android Studio. But there you guys have it. That is an overview on Android Studio. Hopefully you guys enjoyed the video. If you did, let us know in the comment section below. But other than that, I'll see you guys for the next video. Thank you very much for watching.